Coming up, why police officers from across Europe are targeting foreign criminals on our roads.
Would you pay more for a pint of milk? The dairy farmers who say they need your help to survive.
And once upon a time, we look back at 100 years of the Ladybird book. That's at 6. Coming up, the police officers from across Europe who've joined forces with West Midlands Police to target criminals on our roads. That's next.
Now the latest from ITV News Central in the Midlands.
Hello, welcome to the programme on this Wednesday. Police officers from Europe join West Midlands Police to target foreign criminals.
We will try to help UK police to looking for the offenders from my country, from Lithuania.
Experts from Birmingham University say drones will pose a serious security risk over the next 20 years.
How much would you be prepared to pay for a pint of milk? Dairy farmers say they'll go out of business if prices don't rise.
And remember reading these, the story of Ladybird books 100 years on.
Good evening. More than 700 people have been arrested across the country in a police operation targeting criminals from abroad. In the West Midlands, officers are checking hundreds of cars with foreign plates, as well as carrying out a number of raids.
Police officers from 14 European countries are on hand at a control centre in Birmingham to help trace criminal suspects who have moved to the region. Callum Watkinson has been out on patrol with Operation Trivium.
Handsworth, Birmingham this morning.
I'll go in front of Mercedes.
Another car is being stopped by officers from Operation Trivium.
Romanian vehicle?
Romania.
Romania?
Yeah.
Are you living here? You live here?
The aim is to find criminals from overseas, mostly by targeting vehicles, but also by raiding premises.
Police!
In this case, a suspected brothel in Coventry, as filmed here by West Midlands Police. To help them, officers are taking part from 14 European countries. They can translate and provide vital intelligence about criminal suspects. Police believe the driver stopped in the Mercedes, who claims to be living in Wolverhampton, has no vehicle insurance and his car is seized. He's not suspected of any other offences.
There's the road traffic offences, but also we're having low volume crime, such as shoplifting, but actually high volume. Also, all the way up to yesterday we arrested people for supplying controlled drugs on a large scale, but also in the first 24 hours we arrested over 12 people wanted on European arrest warrants.
We will try to help UK police to looking for the offenders from my country, from Lithuania.
What kind of offenders might there be out there from Lithuania?
Oh, it can be traffic offences, even crimes, everything kind of.
Because we came here with our own computers, with databases, so we can check all Lithuanian cars, all Lithuanian peoples. We can check everything about the crimes in Lithuania, everything.
Officers are going to be busy. It's estimated there are up to 350,000 foreign registered vehicles on UK roads. And intelligence from European officers says more than 3,000 of these could be linked to crime. Callum Watkinson, ITV News.
A 12-year-old boy from Kenya has given evidence via a video link, telling a court in Birmingham how he was abused by a former school teacher.
Simon Harris from Herefordshire is accused of multiple sex offences while working for a charity. all of his alleged victims are expected to give evidence from 6,500 miles away in a case which the prosecutor said was an example of the long arm of the law at work. Callum Watkinson sent this report.
Simon Harris is on trial here, charged with 22 sexual offences allegedly committed against 11 boys in Kenya between 2001 and 2013. All 11 of them are expected to appear here via video link, and today the jury heard from the first of those, a 12-year-old who was 9 and, he says, living on the streets at the time police say he was molested and raped by Harris at his home in Gilgil, about 75 miles to the northwest of Nairobi. The boy said that he met Harris initially in a supermarket and had been to his house a number of times. He said that he and other boys used to work there, cleaning and picking up rubbish. On this particular day, he said he was in a bath at the house where he was subjected to a sexual assault by Harris. He was later told to lie face down on a bed where he was raped. And throughout his testimony, he used the phrase bad manners to refer to that alleged rape. It lasted 10 minutes, he said. Then he, meaning Harris, stopped doing bad manners and said that if I told anybody, he would kill me. Now, Harris has already pleaded guilty to sexual offences against 3 pupils at Shabir College in Devon, where he was a teacher in the 1980s. But he denies all 22 charges relating to his time in Kenya. He also denies a further 5 charges of possessing indecent photographs of children. And his trial here at Birmingham Crown Court is expected to last until Christmas.
A man's died after a crash involving a police car in Dudley. It happened at the junction of Central Drive and Bridge Street in Coseley. The man suffered serious injuries and died at the scene. The police officer was driving in a marked car and was not on an emergency call. He was unhurt in the crash. The collision's been referred to police watchdog, the IPCC.
JCB is to cut 150 office jobs in the UK because of a decline in global orders for its diggers. The company said the roles would go mainly from the firm's base at Roaster in Staffordshire. Staff are being consulted about redundancies. A decision is expected before Christmas. The Lichfield MP, Michael Fabricant, is calling for a change in the law which he says discriminates against healthy gay men. Under current rules, when donating blood, a gay man is only allowed to do so if he's been celibate for 12 months.
That's a rule that does not apply to straight men. The MP says the system is unfair and needs reviewing. Our political correspondent, Alison McKenzie, reports.
There is a pressing need for more people to come forward to give blood, so why discriminate against healthy gay men? That was the question being posed by the Lichfield MP, Michael Fabricant, today.
My argument today is one of simple logic. If a monogamous, healthy, sexually active gay man who has been tested and has neither HIV/AIDS nor hepatitis B, nor is having sex with anyone with HIV/AIDS or hepatitis B, why should he be prevented from donating blood?
He's prevented because under current rules, even healthy gay men are required to have been celibate for 12 months before being allowed to give blood. The MP's call to update the law has the backing of gay campaigner Peter Tatchell.
There certainly is a feeling among many gay and bisexual men that they are victims of discrimination. It's true that many men practice safer sex. They are at no risk to themselves or to the blood supply through donation. Their blood is safe. They should be able to give blood.
In a statement tonight, the Department for Health says we have strict rules in place based on expert evidence. Men who have sex with men are at a higher risk of getting blood-borne infections, and there is a small possibility that screening will not pick these up. That's why the 12-month ban is in place.
Blood Donations Equality Bill.
Second reading what day?
Friday the 6th of March, Mr. Speaker.
Realistically, there is little chance that this bill will become law, but those in favour are pleased the issue is now being discussed. Alison McKenzie, ITV News, Westminster.
Now, how much more would you be prepared to pay for a pint of milk? Prices have fallen to such an extent that dairy farmers say they're being forced out of business.
Indeed, they've been meeting government officials this afternoon to ask for more support because they say it costs more to produce milk than they actually earn. Well, we spoke to one farmer who says he expects to lose up to £40,000 a year unless there's a change. Wesley Smith reports.
Rob Harrison's cows produce 1.3 million litres of milk every year at his farm at Moreton-in-Marsh in Gloucestershire. He claims it costs him 30 pence to produce each one, but he only earns 27 pence. Indeed, the price has fallen pretty steadily since this time last year, and a 7 pence drop makes all the difference to farmers like Rob.
Well, the end result is farmers will go out of business, and some of them will choose to give up milking cows, and there'll be less quality British dairy products in shops.
I just bought this pint of milk for 49 pence here in the market town of Bewdley in Worcestershire. But with household budgets ever tighter and perhaps thoughts of Christmas coming along soon, how much extra would you be prepared to pay for your pint of?
I'd be prepared to pay another 10p. 10p a pint. If it's local, yeah.
We're farmers. We have been farmers, we know all about it, yes.
I was talking to a chap the other day, a farmer who's just been dropped a penny a litre on his milk, and he's 12,000 litres a day going. Well, that's 40-odd thousand a year.
I think there's too much of an idea that we must have cheap food, and the farmers aren't getting a good deal.
It should be over £1.
Do you think so?
Definitely.
Why do you say that?
Because I produce it.
Right. So do you think farmers are getting a rough deal now, dairy farmers?
They're getting the market price. That's the problem. It's the world market.
Dairy farmers have already staged protests across the Midlands. This was the scene at Market Drayton in Shropshire recently. So today, representatives went to London for talks with the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs to lobby for more support from the government.
There are some supermarkets, Tesco, Sainsbury's, M&S, Waitrose, who do have cost of production contracts with farmers, so they're good. And what we'd like to do is not necessarily the same mechanism. We'd like to see other supermarkets and some of the middle kind of ground retailers as well have mechanisms in place which also support dairy farmers.
But farmers like Rob are clear. If change doesn't come pretty soon, many will go out of business, putting further strain on an already fragile rural economy. Wesley Smith, ITV News.
And we've been conducting an online poll on our Facebook page on this subject, asking if you'd pay more for a pint of milk if British farmers got a better deal. Now, so far, 87% of you have said yes, you'd pay more, while 13% said no. You can still take part in that poll by visiting facebook.com/ITV Central.